you just tell us what's going on today exactly?
I think that's an indication of the public support. For the first time ever in 134-year history, Royal College of Midwives members in Northern Ireland are on strike. They're on strike for 4 hours. They're campaigning for a 1% pay rise. They haven't had a pay rise in real terms for almost 4 years now. They feel that they're not valued for the work that they do, and they're angry. They've watched their colleagues in the other 3 countries get a pay reward, and Northern Ireland hasn't even had an offer yet from the Minister.
Obviously you're under 4 years of restraints here and you don't want another year. So just tell me, what's your opinion on today, and what issues are we raising today?
Well, it's unfortunate that we have had to strike. I've been a midwife for 37 years. I also have a daughter who is a midwife, who has a young family. It's very hard to believe that the midwives across the water have 1% more than what we have when we all do the same job. We all have the same commitment to women and their families. We're willing to do whatever is needed, including my daughter having to work an hour and a half extra last night to stay with the woman she delivered. I mean, that's just the commitment that midwives naturally have. But I do feel that, we should be treated fairly.
Clearly you've been under constraints for the last few years. Why now? Why did it take so long to obviously step up?
Well, our members understood the need for tightening their belt during the period of austerity. We understand the difficulties the NHS is facing. Our members don't want to make those difficulties worse. But the politicians are telling us all the time that the economy is improving. They told us we were in it together during austerity. We just want to be in it together as the economy improves and have a modest 1% pay increase.
How much could 1% pay increase mean? How much could it mean to you and also all your colleagues that are employed here?
Well, in one respect it's quite a modest claim. It's a few £100 a year, but our members' pay rates have lost their purchasing power, have lost 15% of their purchasing power over the last 5 years, and we want to see this as a step towards making that loss good.
In England we obviously saw industrial action, one victory for the RCM members. Do you believe the same will come of this?
I hope so, I absolutely hope so, and I think that's part of the reason why we did vote yes at the end of the day, because if England, it took them to go out, it's not something we take lightly. Of course we want to make a difference, but our priority is to protect mums and babies and to provide a high value care, high quality care. So it's not taken lightly, but it worked for them. We would hope our MLAs would sit back and go, what are we doing wrong? Why can we not provide this for Northern Ireland when everyone else is getting it within the UK?
Clearly today as well, you are on rotation as well, but up at the hospital, but there's probably a lot of concerned viewers as well. But how can we assure women expecting children are not at risk?
They're not at risk. One thing we will always ensure is the safety of women and their babies. I mean, when this strike is over at 12 o'clock, I should be going out to homes to do my usual calls to women who need us. There are lots of midwives in the maternity at the minute who would like to be in this picket line but cannot be here to give care to women who come. And all the other midwives here that are due to be on duty will be back on duty at 12 midday.
I'm very optimistic. We had a very preliminary discussion with Department of Health officials on Tuesday, and while there are undoubtedly financial constraints in Northern Ireland, I do think that if they want to keep the goodwill of the staff, that they are going to need to sit down around a table and talk to us about this. A particular concern of ours is that almost a quarter of the midwifery workforce is aged over 55. They can retire at 55, and if a quarter of the midwifery workforce decides, I've had enough now, and they leave, we will really be facing severe difficulties in terms of providing a safe service in the future. So I think not to pay a 1% pay rise at this point in time is short-sighted and very counterproductive.
If these issues aren't met, what's the consequences we're looking at, especially in the radiography department?
Well, on one level, our campaign will continue and there will be more strikes. But actually, more seriously, people will leave. People will leave the profession. People from Northern Ireland train in Scotland. They'll stay in Scotland if the pay rates are higher. So the consequences for Northern Ireland will be desperate. There's already a shortage of radiographers, and we don't want that to get worse.
What decision would you like the Northern Ireland Executive to take? Obviously, you want an emergency talk with the Minister for Health. So clearly, you need to take a quick decision here. What would you like to see happening?
I'd like a 1% pay rise right across the board. I would like a commitment to accept the recommendations of the independent pay review body in the future, and I'd like a commitment to sit down and discuss with us how the services in Northern Ireland can be shaped and structured to become the most cost effective that they can be.
I would just ask our local government to consider what they have done to Northern Ireland midwives. It's very hurtful. We feel it. We're compassionate about our job. We'll do everything we can. But please, go and give us what we deserve, the 1% pay rise and back pay.